amiguitos? Bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio de Rock Invasion Entrevistas. Estamos en pleno verano y pues oye, verano significa hard rock. Tengo aquí a Mats de The Cruel Intentions, que acaban de sacar disco y es un disco que estoy segura que va a estar en más de una lista a finales de año. Hi Mats, how are you doing?
I'm good. I didn't understand shit of that, but I'm here.
Well, I just said that well, the summer is already here, so summer should mean hard rock. And you guys released a fantastic second album, and I'm pretty sure this album is gonna be in a lot of, year-end lists.
Oh yeah, hopefully. I'm really satisfied with it.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit, about the history of the band, and then we will be discussing the new album in depth because I think it's amazing. It's seriously an amazing album, and I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so the band started back in 2015, I think, with almost the same lineup except for the drum part. So it would be Lizzie, Christian, you, Mats, and then another drummer that was quickly replaced by Robin. Great drummer, I have to say. That kid rocks hard.
Yeah, he does. We had one drummer before named Aliv from Norway. He's also a really good drummer. But yeah, we parted ways, and I found Robin on Facebook actually. I've never met him, never seen him, just random video on Facebook, and I said, this guy is fucking nuts. So I sent it to Lizzie and said, look at this guy. And we was just, let's try a message and see if he want to play in the band. And Robin was, he was a very, very big Veins of Jenna fan. Been listening to Veins since he was 10 years old. Robin is a lot younger than us, but he was like, yeah, I know all your songs already, so let's go.
Great. So I don't know if I'm correct about this one, but does the name have anything to do with the band Nasty Idols and one of their albums?
Yeah, it got everything to do with it. You're completely right. It's nothing about the movie, Cruel Intentions.
Awesome.
It was a 90s movie with, I don't know, I think it was like a romance thriller or something. People usually think that we got the name from there, but it was the second album from Nasty Idols. One of my favorites, these albums.
Okay. Yeah, great band, Nasty Idols. Yeah. I don't know if they are so, well known here in Spain, but of course I remember them. Them. Great band.
Really
great
good
band. Yeah. And then in 2018, you released your first album. You had been releasing singles prior to that album. Yeah, two of them, I think they were, they never got a proper physical release. Two of them, I think, Stare at the Sun and White Pony.
Yes.
Were there any plans to release them, on CD or anything, or never? Just digital?
Yeah, there's still plans for releasing all the self-release singles in one vinyl, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because people are always talking about the White Pony and Accidental Intoxicated, Stare at the Sun. The other songs, Sick Adrenaline, Borderline Crazy, they are on the first album. Genius Had a Problem as well.
Yeah.
And then there's two versions. There's Eric Mortenson's single version of the Sick Adrenaline, and then there's the album version, which those two are also Peacemaker songs. So we were thinking of doing the early days singles, whatever, like an EP vinyl thing with all the unreleased songs for the fans. Just 200 pieces, and that's it.
Awesome. Yeah. Whoa, the hype is real right now. Woo!
Yeah, I think I haven't told anybody about that, but it's just planned so far. So I can't promise anything.
Okay, well, I will keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, so like I said, you released the first album, which was amazing. I used to be a Veins of Jenna fan, and well, like a lot of people, this totally not original at all. But I was really happy to see Lizzie back. And I was really curious because I hadn't heard anything from the rest of you guys. And I was like, well, let's see what this sounds like. And I was totally blown away. I was like, wow, damn, this is even better. What?
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Really cool. Like I said, you released several singles and you filmed several videos too. And there is a word in German that I don't think it exists in any other language. That's called Spielfreude. And that means, this happiness that you can see in the musicians when they're doing their thing. And that's something that everyone could see in you when you guys, film the videos and you do your stuff. And it's so refreshing and so cool to, to see a band having such a great time, and I think that's really important.
We had a lot of fun. I'm happy that it shows that we had a lot of fun, because we had a lot of fun in those early years back then. We were a little younger, but we partied a lot and we had a lot of fun all the time. So I'm happy that it shows true.
Yeah. A lot of weekend suffering. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's where this song came from, actually.
Yeah. This first album was recorded, mixed, and I think mastered by a Greek guy. I think his name is Stamos Kouliousis. And I think I've only heard him, the works that I've heard from him were more into extreme metal, thrash metal. I don't think I've ever heard anything different than No Sign of Relief by, this engineer.
No. Stamos is like he's like the expert of very heavy metal and extreme metal, as you say. But he was actually the guy who found us and told the record company in the recordings that they have to sign us. He was like prompting, because he saw us live and he was blown away by the energy, and he wanted to get that in the studio, and he really, really wanted us to be in the recordings, because I think he was working as an A&R also back then. So I'm very happy that he really tried so hard, because they weren't interested in the beginning, and then he got us into a meeting and we signed a record deal, and then we wrote the album in 6 months, me and Lizzie. So,
well, the album is here. Here's my copy.
Hey.
It's awesome. It's actually signed.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So that's from probably from our first pre-order then.
No, it's not. I actually got to see you guys in Germany. Not a lot of time had passed since this thing got released. And wow, what a great live show. Like, amazing. There were a bunch of other bands, like Crash Diet, Pretty Wild, Trench Dogs, and some other bands that I can't recall right now. But it was perfect, because I got, I found out that you guys were going to release the first album. So I got the digital copy first. And I remember going to my job every day on the subway, like boom, 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 boom. And then I knew all the songs by heart. And suddenly I see that you guys were coming to Bochum. That's where I was living. And wow. And then you guys delivered such a great show. Like, well, this was the only time that I had the chance to see you live, but you just delivered an amazing show.
Thank you.
It's like, well, what else can one ask for?
Thank you. It was. I remember the show. It was really, really fun.
It was really cool. Great crowd, great ambience.
Everything was really good, actually.
Yeah.
It was one of the first times I think we went to Germany.
Yeah, that must have been 2019, I think.
Yeah.
Or 19.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah. So if we move forward just a little bit, you have just released your sophomore album, which I have here too. Well, you can see that I have the shirt here too.
Yeah, I've not seen the CD or the shirt. We don't have them. No.
Okay.
The fans get them first. I haven't seen it yet.
Wow. So well, that's the CD. version. The only thing that I'm missing is a band photo inside. This time there is no band
we
picture.
didn't go for no band picture this time.
Yeah, I found that
I
pretty
don't think we
interesting.
had one. Yeah, it was because we didn't have a new photo because of the Corona situation, and Robin and we live in Norway and him in Sweden. So we decided to go all in with this great artist called Remi. He who designed everything. So he had free hands, just do whatever you want, and it turned out really good from what I've seen.
Yeah, and I think this time it took you a little bit longer to write the album. Of course, because of the pandemic, I think. But were there any other, factors that contributed to you, needing more time, or you just thought, okay, let's just take it easy?
Yeah, that's basically what happened. We were supposed to release this one in 2020.
Okay.
But we were delayed anyway, so we couldn't do it. And then everything went, like it did, it went shit. And we were continue writing, and we had so much fun doing it. So we thought now is the time to not stress with anything. We can take as much time as possible until we know what the situation is going to be in the world later on, because there's no point in releasing an album and then it just disappears, right? So we waited, and we had to do it. Basically, I had to do it this year. Otherwise, it would be too late or too early or whatever. But now we set up here for summer release. It's supposed to be released in April, but it got delayed again, and then the vinyl got delayed anyway.
Okay.
So it's really hectic. It's problematic to do a release with all the vinyls, because all the bands like Superstar, Crash Diet, everybody's got they got delays in the delivery, and we got it as well. So, but now it's just like 3 weeks, and then we get the vinyl.
Okay, this time it's again 11 tracks, but this time the big, the enormous, the tremendous, the fantastic Erik Martinsson.
Yes.
Well, you can tell there's a difference in the production. It doesn't mean that the first one doesn't sound good. It's not that, but it's different, and you can tell that Erik has
been there
something to do with that.
With the magic hands and ears and everything. He did a really good job like producing it, and the mix is fantastic. Everything, the sound is what we've been looking for so long, and the sound for the first album is perfect for that album, but it wouldn't work on this album, in my opinion. This needed to be bigger and just better in general, because there's so much more to this album than the punk rock feel to the first album. So I knew that Erik would nail it, and he was supposed to do the first album as well, but we couldn't figure it out, and there was no time. But he was on board from first day. When I just called him up and said, do you want to do it? And he said, yeah, let's do it. And he's
awesome.
the nicest guy in the world as well. Really, really nice. And we stayed in his studio in Sweden, basically lived there for a week, me and Lizzie, and Robin was there for a week doing the drums, just hanging out with his family, getting great food and beer, and it was fantastic. And I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Erik. So for me, it was like, fucking sitting in his living room and just talking music and drinking beer. So it was like perfect.
Great. That's great to hear. Yeah. And you have been releasing some singles for this album too. I think it's 4 singles, if I'm not wrong. Well,
3 singles and a title track. So it's
exactly
4 music videos. So 4 singles, but the Venomous Anonymous came on release day with a music video 1 week after.
Okay.
Because of delays.
How did you guys choose the singles? Because if you release such an album, it's the very same question for the first one. If you released these beasts of an album, how can you choose? Because it's hard. And luckily for me, right now, most of the bands do that now. They release the singles prior to the album, so that saves me work, and that doesn't make me, having to choose for the show or anything, because that would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I have once the full thing has been released, and once I can really choose, that's where my problem comes. So how did you guys choose the singles and the order, to release them?
Oh yeah, we had some discussions back and forth. It was crazy actually. We have been listening to this album for maybe a year, and we have been listening to the songs for 2 years basically. Especially me, Lizzie, and Christian and Robin. So one day you love this song, and the other day I love that song, and I hate this song, and once in a while I hate the full album, and once in a while I love the album. So we were discussing which songs, and we ended up talking to Erland, the boss of Indie Recordings.
Okay.
He got the chance to listen to it, and our product manager Linda from Indie Recordings listened to it, and we were like just discussing, and came up with first the set list and then the singles. But that changed 4 times again. So we were like, okay, Repercussion gotta be it. That's the first song of the album, so that's the single. And then we continued and talking about it, and I think we were arguing about Casket Case instead of Kerosene, but ended up with Kerosene as like my girlfriend loved it. It's her favorite song, and mostly females were into Kerosene. So we were thinking, okay, yeah, all the girls love it, so we need to have it as a third single.
That's a great reason why.
Yeah, you can't always listen to old grumpy men like us. You have to listen to the females as well, because they have more understanding of some things. So that's what we ended up with this, and I'm super happy with the set list. It's dynamic. It's very dynamic now, and now when the album is released, I usually stop listening to the music, but with this album, I just continue to listen, and I got it on in the car on the way to work or something, and I listen. Yeah, it's perfect now. So I'm very happy with it.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And then for the first time, you have written something in Swedish, which, by the way, it's a problematic language for me. I told you off camera that I love a lot of different Swedish bands, from hard rock to extreme metal, but I have never had the chance or the will. Let's say the truth. Let's face it. I'm not gonna hide it. I've never had the will to learn Swedish. I should, I think, because then you guys release a song in Swedish. Then, well, there's a lot of other bands from Sweden, like, for example, Second Son, who have released their music in Swedish. Tiran, I don't know. So why did you why did you decide to write something in Swedish, which, by the way, it's perfect. I think it fits the song perfectly. I don't even know how would that sound in English.
No,
I know the translation, but yeah.
That's the thing. That's why we wrote it in Swedish, because it didn't work in English. Basically, we were struggling. I think that's the second to last song we wrote for the album, and everything was basically done, and we were sitting with this song. I wrote the music, years ago. I came up with all of the song with no lyrics, no melodies at all, just the music. So we were trying and back and forth, and then Lizzie said, "Fuck it, let's try Swedish," and I was like, "What? Why? why would we? I mean, we never ever thought about it before." And I was like, "Okay, let's go, let's try it." And then he wrote the melody for the pre-chorus and the chorus with just random words, and we recorded it. And then I went home and like mixed it and listened to it over and over again. And I said, "We got something here. Let's do it." And then the next week or something, Lizzie came up with the lyrics, really dark, fragile lyrics, and it turned out so good. So we just kept going. We have a demo in English as well. So there is one version in English, but once we came to Eric, he said, "There's only one of these songs, and it's gonna be Swedish. So there's no more in English." Okay, because he was like, "Yeah, this is the song. It's way better in Swedish. So now we're gonna record it, and we're gonna forget about the English version."
Yeah, and given this example of incorporating new things and stuff that you would never think about, for the Cruel Intentions, like this Swedish thing, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I have the feeling that when it comes to the songwriting, to the whole process, this time you started writing things with no boundaries at all. That's the feeling that I have. That might be wrong, but maybe you can tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, you're completely right. It was we had an idea of what we wanted to do, but we didn't follow through on. I mean, we did follow through on some ideas, but we ended up saying just let's go and let's see what happens and write for ourselves mostly and what we think is really good. No thought about what people are gonna think or expect, mostly because then we would probably end up doing another version of the first album, because that was people really liked that one. So we were thinking it's gonna sound like Cruel Intentions, but it has to be something new, and that's the only boundary we had, to make something new and fresh with but still have our trademark sound to it. And it was fantastic, just so much fun writing whatever and just feeling it and taking it in and listen to it and rearrange and take the time to figure out what we wanted. And then when we were done, we were in love with all the songs. Every song has a special place, and I think it turned out really good.
And another thing that is really cool, or at least that's what I think, is that if you come here to the booklet and you read, you see all songs written by the Cruel Intentions. It's not, no, I did this, and I don't know, and Christian did that, and then, no. And I think that that's something that you can see, like this, I don't know if brotherhood would be the word for that, but you are so solid as a band that even in these small details, you can see it. And that's really special and really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's why we're doing it, because we can't be, one person can't do it, two person can't. We're a band, like a band of brothers, and everybody has to step in and do their thing to make it sound like it does. Even if I write the music and Lisa write the lyrics, Christian always does the solo and the leads, and Robin puts his touch with the drumming. Even if I had done a demo with pre-programmed drums, Robin always takes it and makes it to his own. And that's why we share everything. We split everything in 25%. It's like all of us or nothing, basically. So that's correct as well.
Great. And then, speaking about the sound, I think that you guys have a very distinctive sound, and it's not only because of Lizzie's voice. Of course, it's very special and very recognizable, but it's not only that. And that's really cool too, because nowadays it's so hard to find a band which, a trademark sound and with, these different elements. But in your case, I think you already have your own trademark sound. And, if you listen to the riff, if you listen to the melody, you already know it's the Cruel Intentions. It's really hard to have.
Fantastic to hear. And that's what we're going for, like trying to separate us from other bands by having this trademark sound. And as you say, not only Liz's special voice, but in the melodies and the riffs and everything. And that's something we've been going for from the start. So like put on the song and hear that it's Cruel Intentions before the vocals gets in. That's like the main goal, at least with this album. And the next one, it's going to be even worse.
Well, mission accomplished, I would say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, I would like to ask you a little bit. Well, I know that you have mentioned this 1,000 times right now, but well, of course, we have to at least mention it. Your music was featured on this huge TV series, The Peacemaker. I have to say that I haven't watched a single episode yet. I haven't, and I'll tell you why. There's so much stuff going on right now. The albums, the TV series, the movies, the books. Yeah. I'm pretty overwhelmed right now, so I have to, give priority to each thing. But I've heard it's pretty cool. Like the series is pretty entertaining, and it's really cool, to have that kind of a chance, because yeah, I think that there were other bands like Vane, but I think it's very important, when there are new bands, to give them the opportunity. That's one of my main goals with the show. So it's pretty cool to see that, people like James Gunn, which is, a pretty big guy, decides to give the opportunity to newer bands. It's quite refreshing.
Yeah, it was. His taste of music is insane. From the old bands, as you say, going all the way to Hannah Rocks, Faster Pussycat, and Vane. But then again, he gets Reckless Love, and he gets us, and he gets Sister, Dustbowl Jokers from Sweden, and mix it together, and everything fits perfectly. I think maybe feels like he wrote the episodes after the music. Like he was listening, and in this scene we're gonna have this, because everything fits so perfectly, and it's so well written, and the acting, everything. John Cena is amazing as Peacemaker, and his wife is the main one of the main characters as well. Really, really good. All the show is super entertaining, and when you get that level of commercial greatness, like it's so big and one of the most streamed shows in the world, and then you get to put 80s sleaze rock, Swedish rock and roll, everything from old to new into that, to get to such a big audience. That's it's really, really cool, and won't probably happen ever again. Maybe season two might be something.
Maybe
we don't know. We sent the album, we sent Venomous Anonymous to James Gunn, actually. So hopefully we can have the whole album in next season.
Well,
but it was great. It was great. It did. It did so much for us in getting new fans and streams, and we did so many interviews that the first couple of weeks with pretty big outlets as well, and it was mainstream media sometimes, and that's the goal for all bands, to get recognized. So he helped us out a lot, and he wrote to me on Instagram and said that he adored the band, and that was like, because I adore him. I'm a big fan of him, so it was like, fucking hell, this is crazy.
That's great. I was really happy for you and for Sister, because I think you guys deserve more exposure. Yeah. They released a great album last year, I have to say, Sister.
Yeah, Sister. Yeah, I hope hopefully they'll get back now together again. It seems like there's something going on, because they have been on a break or something. I don't know what's happening, but I haven't talked to the guys in years either. So hopefully get to see them on tour and go play with them.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, speaking about the pre-orders of the new album, I missed the chance to, get like the cool package with the vinyl and this and that. Well, I will get the vinyl eventually, but I think it was sold out in a matter of hours or a day or something like that. What's all this craziness?
The thing with that is, like, we had first we had the pre-order of the bundle, the vinyl, the t-shirt, and the signed poster with a picture.
Exactly.
Actually, with a picture from Repercussion video shoot. So there's a picture. I told you there wasn't any pictures, but there is one. But there were only 200 copies of that one, and that was the first pre-order that went out, and that sold out in a matter of days, I think, because I didn't check. I was just like, okay, now the pre-order is live, hopefully people buy it. And then I went back to the homepage and I was like, fuck, it's sold out. Okay, that's good. And then on release day, I went back to check at Indie Recordings, our record company's homepage, and it said sold out on the vinyl as well. And then our first album sold out again for the third time. So it was very crazy. But the thing with that is the album doesn't exist. That's the complicated thing. So it's they were only printed, I think it was 600 copies of the vinyl. So 200 of those went to the pre-order with the signed photographs, and you get 50 to EMP, 50 to record stores in Germany, and 10 to record stores in Sweden, blah, 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 and on and on. So everybody's just waiting for the album that isn't printed yet. So it's sold out there, but there's still copies available, but you have to buy them from maybe Nuclear Blast in Germany or EMP in Germany, and they have 50 of it, and they have 50, but they don't have it either. So it was a mess. I didn't understand straight away what happened. So the album is still available, but it's sold out in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're doing a second press. The record company is working on a second press, and we're thinking of doing a third press for the first album, making it a double vinyl with the first and the second album together.
Oh.
Yeah, with a combined color, new color of the vinyl. So that's it's amazing. It's good for us, but then again, I get sad if people don't get it as soon as possible. I haven't seen it, as I said. I have no idea what it looks like, but I'm waiting for my copy as well. And there's going to be 100 pieces of the yellow vinyl. That's for the band only. So that's what we're going to sell on tour.
Okay.
So if you want the yellow vinyl, you buy it live.
Awesome. Well, that would I have to say that I'm pretty surprised right now, because you said that you haven't even seen the CDs. Well, that's a pretty rare case, I think.
Yeah, it is, because they're being printed in Spain, actually. So everything's really printed and sent out from a headquarters in Spain, and that's why we printed the photo and signed and sent to them, and they put it in each of the 200 vinyls. So I've seen the booklet in online format, of course, in PDF, where you can just scroll through, but it's not like holding it and going through the booklet. We've been only seeing it on the screen, and I mean, I know it's gonna look great, but I really want to see it now.
Well, it's good to know.
Yeah,
it's good to know that Spain is not only exporting paella and soccer, but also, the Cruel Intentions stuff. It's good to know.
Rock and roll as well.
Yeah. Of course, we have been speaking about the music, which is the most important part. But I would like to talk a little bit about the image and the looks of the band, because I think you guys have like the whole package. Great music, great looks, and it's refreshing because, well, I don't know what do you think about this, but lately, especially when it comes to hard rock bands, well, the looks are not so cool anymore. I'm not talking about going out there like Poison, but I'm not talking about going out there in sports clothes either. I think, I don't know, a cool image is important to me. Like, I like going to a show and, seeing people on stage, like, with all this great attitude and all this fucking amazing clothes. What do you think about this? It's important image to you?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, you gotta look spectacular when you go on stage. I mean, you can't go there and wear the same shit that you do every day when you're home. So, but the thing with us is that we basically look like this all the time. All of us. I have one pair of jeans that I've been wearing for 15 years, and I have them every show. They're ripped to hell and back. And then there's the old vintage concert shirts and the leather jackets, and that's what I mean, if I'm going out here back home in Oslo, that's basically what I look like all the time. unless I'm in the woods hiking, then I'm going with the sports. But when we're out, I mean, it's same with Christian. Christian is a rock god. He wakes up and he looks like that. He doesn't do anything. I do my hair, I do the straightening and all that, and Liz's makeup and Robin as well. But Christian gets drunk and he wakes up and he looks like that. It's pure rock and roll. So yeah, it's important. I mean, there are lots of bands that go all in and like build their own clothes and put on a lot of makeup, and like Crash Diet have different clothes for different albums, and that's also cool because then you do something. But we are like not trying to do anything like that. We look like this, and it's most real, I think, when you go out, what you feel really comfortable in, and that's my ripped jeans and my old Wasp T-shirt from '86, and just yeah. That's it, and that's what I would wear anytime if I go out to party, if I go to festival or whatever. I would wear the same clothes basically. So important to be yourself, but also with the image. So we're luckily we can be ourselves and have an image. So it's really awesome, actually.
It's cool. It's cool and very unique too. Because if you see Lizzy, he doesn't dress like anyone else. It's like a pretty particular way of getting dressed.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Pretty
it's
cool.
The bandana,
pretty cool.
It's a cap and the shirt around the waist, and he's been looking like that since he was fucking 10 years old or something.
Exactly. He's been looking like that like forever.
And that's amazing because I mean, and Robin, when he started the band, he looked like us before we knew him, so he didn't like need to dress up or anything. He was like, fucking hell, we got the same leather jacket, same jeans, same shoes. Okay, let's go.
So going back to the music, I think that you didn't start playing bass. You've had like this trip with different instruments. What can you tell me about that? Because I think that's pretty interesting.
That's right. I started with drums. That was my first, not by choice, but my brother got a drum kit when we were kids, and he couldn't play. So he lost interest, and I started to banging on the drums, and I thought it was really, really fun and loud. So I just continued to play drums for, I don't know, maybe a couple of years. But then again, when I went, I can't remember how old I was, but I think I was maybe 13 when I started playing guitar instead of drums, because we had a really good drummer but no guitarist. So I picked up the guitar and tried to learn that shit instead of playing the drums. And yeah, and that's the way it was for years and years and years until I started the Crew Intentions, because we needed a bass player. And we had Christian. So I was off. And this is a really good guitarist. So naturally, they got the guitars, and I just took the bass and really enjoyed the bass. I think I enjoy to play the bass the most now, more than drums and guitar. But I write everything on a guitar. But yeah, the bass is now my favorite instrument.
Yeah, and not only with the Cruel Intentions, because I think that you contributed to this new project of Eric and Ronnie Atkins, Nordic Union.
Yeah, me and Robin, we didn't record anything with them. It's Eric. It's all Eric. He plays the bass. He programs the drums. He does the singing, and he got a guy named Frederick from Enslaved playing the guitar solos. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Really, really nice guy and such an amazing guitarist. So, but he just called Robin and me. We were hanging out here in Oslo, and we were going to Finland in April or something, and Eric just called Robin and said, could you do 2 music videos with me and Ronnie Atkins, Nordic Union? And he was like, oh yeah, only if I can bring Mats along. He was joking. He was actually joking, because I said, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Because he was smiling from ear to ear. And I was like, let me in on the good stuff here. And he said, oh yeah, why not? We need a bass player as well. So bring Mats along, and we do 2 music videos for Nordic Union. And I was like, okay, that's cool, because I love Nordic Union.
Yeah, it's a great project.
It's really, really good. And the new songs is amazing. It's the heaviest Nordic Union yet, and Ronnie sings like hell. He still got it, even if he's been sick, really, really sick with cancer and everything.
Yeah.
Just meeting him and doing the 2 videos with him, like opened my eyes for how down to earth a real rock star can be, because he was the nicest guy and he was like just chilling, having a beer, and we did 2 songs, 2 videos in 12 hours or something. It was a long day, but it was really, really fun. And like get to know him and work with Eric and him. It's like a dream come true for both me and Robin, because we're big fans of Pretty Mates and Ronnie and Eclipse and all that. So it was really, really good to see how they work and what they do for in the music videos and all that. And we got the chance to work with Patrik Uleas, which is a huge director from Sweden. He's
I know.
doing everything. So I always wanted to work with him, but he's really expensive, I think. So we really never thought about True Intentions getting there. But now we got to know him and got to work with him, and it was super interesting because he was also like nicest guy ever. Everybody was really, really nice, and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Going back to the first album, now let's switch to, some fun stuff. Going back to the first album, I would like to know if that puking sound in Jenny's Kind of Problem, is it real or is it staged? Because how do you manage to, find the right puking sound?
That's amazing that you ask about it. Nobody ever asked about that before, and I think it's hilarious. Let's see now. It was Aliv, our first drummer. He's like a nerd, like a studio nerd. So we were recording drums, then we recorded vocals. So solicited the vocals, and when we came to that part, Aliv said, "We need a puke. We need somebody to puke in the studio. we need to sample a puke." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do it." And he went out into the kitchen and he got a can of juice, and then he drank the juice, orange juice, and then he got a bucket and he just like spit it out as he was vomiting with 3 microphones up to his face. Really expensive microphones. He was so serious with this. It's gonna be like high quality spewing sound. And I think he nailed it. He was very, very obsessed with that, getting it right. I think he spent like an hour on getting it right. So I'm so happy that you asked about it.
That's so crazy! Wow.
Yeah, it's a good story.
So going on with the fun stuff, you have been touring with great bands and with people that tend to have a lot of fun. So I'm pretty sure that you will have at least one funny story on tour that you can hear.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of fun stories. Let's see. It's so hard when you get to think about something real quick. But we've been most of our stories comes from Christian, actually, because he's a really fun dude, and he does the craziest things. So maybe the one time we went to Punchy Cats and played with Jyrki 69 from 69 Eyes.
Okay.
He was there to be DJing, actually, and we were going to play a full show, and then we had we did 2 songs with Jyrki, and after the show we stayed and party, obviously, and Christian stayed a little longer than everybody else, so he stayed with Jyrki and he drank this green liquor made of like sugar and alcohol until he became green in the face, probably. And then he ended up on the staircase to our hotel. He didn't even come into the room, so Aliv had to go out and carry him into the room. So that's one of the Christian stories, and I got lots of those, maybe 10 more, but some are maybe a little too much.
Okay. Then normally I like to close the interviews with a question that normally I have surprises with this one, and I don't know if this will be the case, but I would like you to recommend some music that you have been listening to lately. It can be whatever. It doesn't have to be metal. It can be, of course, but it can be whatever. It doesn't have to be new. It's just, stuff that you have been listening to lately and that you think that, well, it deserves a recommendation.
Yeah, I got just a thing for you because I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. And it's a band called Bad City from California.
Okay.
They released one album. That's it. Only one album in 2008 or something. And it was Eric Mortensen who showed me this when we were in the studio because of the production and the sound and everything. And it's one of the best albums I heard in the last, I don't know, 15 years. It's good from start to finish, and they got their own sound. It's unique, and the singer is perfect voice. I don't know what happened to them, but they only released that song, and nobody had heard about them. I haven't heard about them, and Eric said, "I mean, you're gonna love this," and I did. So that's what I've been listening to the last couple of months. It's Bad City, yeah, the first and only album. So check it out. It's on Spotify, and there's a couple of music videos as well on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'll check it.
Everybody should check it. It's very rock and roll, and it's hit song after hit song, and really good writing and production, everything.
Awesome. Yeah. So, well, the last thing that I would like to ask you is, are there any chances of seeing you in the south of Europe? Because in Germany you have played several times, and in Central Europe, but I don't recall seeing any tours here or in France or in Spain.
No, not yet. We haven't been to any of those places. It's been heavily marketing against Germany, of course, because we've been there so much and there's a growing fan base. And I mean, the European tour with Crash Diet 2019, that was basically Germany and a couple of other countries around that. But it seems like most of the rock and roll bands end up doing a lot of shows in Germany, and maybe not so much in France and Spain, as you say. But we got plans. We really want to do Spain and France, of course. So come fall this year, hopefully we are going on tour. I don't have the details yet, but we're working on stuff right now, and we really want to go there.
Awesome. Great. Well, I don't know if there is anything else that you would like to say to the fans in Spain, or anything that I have forgotten about.
I'll just listen to the new album and let us know what you think about it. That's basically it. The album is out, and we couldn't be happier about it. And now we just need to make sure everybody listens and request it for radio and tell your local promoters to bring us over. The more the merrier, right?
Awesome. Great. So it was fantastic having you here today. A real honor, I have to say. I'm a huge fan, so thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time and asking about the puke in Gina's Pedapalo. Fantastic.
Great. See you.
Bye.